welcome to another episode on Strilingo. Today I have not one but two guests with me. And the reason why I have two guests is because today we're going to be talking to a millennial and we're going to be talking to a Gen Z. So, Shrushti and Kaveri, sisters, welcome to Strilingo. I'm so grateful that you're doing this, and I have a lot to learn from you guys today.
Firstly, thank you so much, Smita, for having both of us here. It's, I think, the first time that we are actually doing something like this with each other. So it's going to be new. It's going to be interesting for us to, understand what we think about each other and, of course, how we take on life in our own ways.
Let's talk about social media because you are the social media generation, more you, Kaveri, than Shrushti. I come from a time where we had only two TV channels, DD and DD Metro. And Shrushti, you were born with many, many options, Z, Sony, whatever.
Yeah.
Kaveri, you have everything, like everything, right? So, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Snapchat, whatever. I don't know. There may be so many other, social media platforms that you must be using. Twitter, which I love. Uh, are you under pressure that you have a digital identity to maintain? Because sometimes when I talk to Gen Z, especially, they say that we have our real life, and then there is a digital life, a digital footprint, a digital image that I need to maintain. Sometimes it can get very taxing. Sometimes people go through hell because of social media bullying, the kind of image they put out, the wanting under peer pressure, trying to create or be something that you are actually not in real life. What do you have to say about social media identity?
For me, I think social media identity is not really that important. And for this,
Okay.
I'll even thank, yeah, because and for this, I'll also thank her because I've stayed so much with her that some millennial traits do come into you, though I'm a Gen Z. And, because of that, and that's, I think, a good thing for me because I portray on social media what I actually do. If I'm chilling with my friends and if I feel like that, it's something fun and I want to put up a story, I will put it up. And if it's something I want to post, I will post. Or and maybe if I'm not even active on Instagram, like for posting something for like 2 or 3 months, and it doesn't make a difference to me,
That's
honestly,
good to know. That's an eye
because
opener.
I treat social media as just an entertainment tool for me. That's something that I use for my time pass or something that I know I want to go through when I'm just getting bored and not something that I take personally. And maybe that is why I don't even plan on going on to becoming an influencer. I mean, who does it? Hats off and kudos to them. They have the courage to go up there and, face the world, on camera. But for me personally, social media is just another tool of entertainment. As we have television channels, I have Instagram and maybe OTT platforms or maybe Facebook. But yeah, I don't take it that personally and I don't have two different lives. And some credit goes to the millennial also sitting besides me.
But do you know of any friends or any classmates who must be who have had a negative impact because of social media?
I mean, not personally someone as such, but yeah, I keep seeing this, posts on Instagram that keep coming that people, are talking about mental health, especially the Gen Zs. They're, too vocal about it. But sometimes, I personally feel that people have spoken so much about it that we've actually lost the importance of that topic. And, every small thing is considered to be, anxiety or depression. People are talking that they're mentally disturbed, but where actually people don't really know what that feels or what you actually go through in that phase, and it's not something that you talk about every day. You talk so casually, so especially Gen Zs, when they talk so much about it, instead of being vocal, you are just reducing that importance that that feeling or that topic actually holds.
So you saying that sometimes people just talk about mental health so casually that they tend to reduce the importance of mental health because everything is termed as depression or anxiety. Everything cannot be depression or anxiety, but because these
Exactly.
terms are out there, they're using it very casually. without understanding what it actually means. Because let's be honest, depression and anxiety are huge problems in today's day and age. There's so many people. Like I was telling you guys before I started podcast, that there's a guy called Satyam Agarwal. When I was doing my research, I happened to come across his video, and he just put up a video on YouTube saying that, hey, I'm 29 years old, and I am depressed. My social life sucks. I have no friends, things like that. You won't believe it, that video got 1.4 million views, and so many people, as comments, agreed to the fact that, yeah, even I go through this, even I go through this, even I go through this. I think there's so much pressure, not only on you, Kaveri, I mean, your generation, even you, Shrishti, to be out
Yeah.
there, to present yourself in a certain way, to, agree to things that maybe you, as your upbringing doesn't want you to agree to, but because of peer pressure, you're agreeing
Mm.
to it. So, like you said, I really like that comment, and I hope a lot of people resonate with it, that don't term everything as depression or anxiety so casually, because really these are very serious problems, and people who actually go through it, sometimes, in your effort to put forth your thoughts, you end up using the wrong words.
Mm.
You could just be having a bad day. It need not be as serious as anxiety. What do you have
Right.
to say, Shrishti, about your digital image?
Well, digitally, I'm not that somebody who's going to be posting things on the feed or on stories. But yes, I mean, I like myself when I'm dressing up for work. So if I'm really in a good mood, I want to like just put up a story. I do that in the morning. So there
But
was a
please tell
phase
me, sorry
where
to interrupt you, but you are not somebody who will just, eating, sleeping, drinking, anything, you're taking a photo. You're not that.
no, 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 I don't do that. I don't do that because I like to actually enjoy the moment, then, capturing it every time.
Hmm.
Because I don't need to tell the world where I am, what I'm doing, unless, of course, that occasion or that event is extremely close to me that, okay, and I want to share it with the world.
Hmm.
So there was a phase in between where for about 15-20 days, I was just putting stories in the morning when I reached office. And people started reacting to it that, okay, once I stopped putting, they're like, okay, aaj ki story nahi aayi hai tumhari. I said, yes, because I don't want to. I felt like putting, I did that for quite some time, but right now I'm not in the mood to do it. And then came a time where about for 2 to 3 months, there was nothing on my social media. People were asking me that, are you okay? Is your account hacked or are you not really active? I said, no, it's not that I'm not really active, but it's just that I'm not putting out a lot of things. I don't want to talk about it. When I feel like I will do it. So, I mean, I don't feel the pressure of keeping that image of me on social media. Once in a while, I do put up certain things. Yeah, that's it. I mean, I also use it as a relaxation tool just to like go through my search or see what's happening around because the industry that I'm in, it's very important for me also to know what's happening,
Hmm.
what's being updated in terms of technology, in terms of new brands that are doing. So yeah, I use that from that point of view, but nothing more than that.
Tell me one thing. You both are young girls, and so, if today nudity is a serious problem on the internet, young girls, uh, next to nude almost, pictures, reels, videos. How do you guys take a look at it? And let me tell you that when you do such things on social media, there is instant name and fame. You go to any of these accounts where nudity is a huge part of the kind of pictures or content that they're uploading, and there's a huge there's a huge number of takers also for such content. As two young girls, I want to understand, what do you have to say about online nudity today?
Uh, See, for me, on a personal level, I would not be as comfortable as those people who are doing it. So, hats off to them for having that courage to be that open about and that comfortable with your body that you can show it to the world the way you are. You're not really, you don't regret it or you're not ashamed of it. But yes, I think there's some parts of India that are not going to be accepting social media nudity. Yes, people are progressive; they are moving ahead with times, but not completely. So my personal take would be that I would not be comfortable, but I think yeah, um, if the person is okay with it, they want to flaunt that. I mean, you can go ahead. I mean, I will not be somebody to comment on that.
it's their choice eventually of how you want to use social media, how putting out yourself there.
If you ask me, I will also have partially the same opinion as you. Like when you said that if they are doing it, so be it, but I am not one for it. So they can exist, I have no problem, but I am not somebody who I don't even look at it as progressive. That's where I differ from you, because I feel that there is so much more to a woman than just her physical entity. And you need to have raw talent, you need to have good talent in whatever capacity, yeah, to shine. And this is a very sasta way, easy way of shining, I think. It's the easy route out, I think. But then
Yeah,
in the long run, what is the sustainability of this? Let's be very honest, with each passing year,
not much actually.
not much actually. I don't think it is uh, within the realms of our culture also, because I am very fond of the Indian culture. But like you said, if somebody is courageous enough to go ahead and do that, I would also say courageous and foolish enough to do that, so be it. What would you like to say, Kaveri, about nudity on social media today?
Um, Honestly, personally, I'm not comfortable like showing myself as such, so I'll never imagine myself being in that position. But when it comes to people, it's their own social media, it's their account, and I think they've prepare themselves mentally for the consequences that they might face or the appreciation that they might get. So I think it's a personal choice with what they want to show there. And if people who are watching have an objection and are not comfortable, I think you should not go to those pages. You should refrain from stalking those accounts, I think, because nobody's forcing us now to watch them post those pictures or pose in a certain manner. It's our choice to to choose the content that we are consuming. So at the end, it's everybody's personal choice. And now I don't feel that women are posting nude photos or nudity on Instagram or any social media because they have to, but it is more of their own choice because they're more comfortable about it. So it's all on the person's comfort, and if people are uncomfortable, then of course you can avoid watching it, no
Yeah, you
harm.
can just mute those accounts. Like if I see something on my feed which I'm not comfortable, I would go ahead and, probably just mute that account so it doesn't show up again. What do you
In
have to
fact,
say? Mm,
Instagram recently they've got this feature on your feed as well, that certain kind of content or post that's coming up, if you're not interested, you can choose to not show this kind of posts or this particular account again. So that's a good thing that Instagram gives you the liberty to choose the kind of content you want to consume on the platform.
Exactly. I think, like you said, so be it. For me also, it's like that,
Yeah.
that let them do what they want to do. I'm just not going to agree to seeing your pictures because I don't agree with this kind of nudity. I think,
Hmm.
talent is, I always take let us take the most recent example, yeah, Sri Devi. She was all about talent. She was not
Absolutely.
about nudity. So I feel when you have, that kind of talent, you don't need to do these kind of things, but to each his own. Last but not the least, I'm going to ask you about mental health, because, like I gave you that example of that guy, Satyam Agarwal, there are so many people who agreed to what he had to say. Loneliness is a huge problem in today's day and age. I, in fact, did a podcast recently with a psychologist, Siddhida. She runs a wellness platform, psychological wellness platform called Dhairyada. And she, through that podcast, I learned that loneliness is a huge, huge problem in today's day and age, because maybe we are so connected to each other through various social media platforms or WhatsApp or whatever, that we are forgetting how to meet in person. What do you have to say about loneliness in general? Is loneliness a part of your generation, your respective generations?
Uh, for me, it wasn't that case because I mean, my generation, we had lots of friends to, hang out. I wouldn't say hang out in terms of going to the malls or watching movies, but literally playing games, outdoor games with our friends. So in the society that we live in, the area that we live in, I had a group of around 15 to 20 people.
Wow.
So we used to play every evening for about 2 to 3 hours. So I think the time we invested in each other, we never really felt the the loneliness or the need to have somebody to talk to, because we came from school, we probably had a lunch, study for about 2 hours, and you directly go to play. You come back home at night, you have a dinner, and you sleep. That's what the routine was for most of people who belong to our generation. So we never really felt the feeling of, lonely as such or being isolated. But yeah, now when times are changing, I think yes, because people have got, they've parted to different countries, people have moved in their lives. So now you sort of feel, I think you miss those days actually more than loneliness for me. And the take would be very different for her actually.
What do you have
For
to say,
me,
Kaveri?
For me, it was so my generation at the time I was born as 2003. So the early 2000s are actually in middle of like the true Gen Zs and the millennials somewhere. We are in between them. So we have the traits of both. We are a bit of millennial and we are a bit of Gen Z also. So of course we had the digital age. We had phones and video games at that time. But somewhere even we have not as much as them, of course, but we've had a time of our childhood where we could all gather and play games and everything, as compared to the Gen Zs who are coming right now, like who are just exposed to the digital world. So even if they're sitting together, they're sharing memes. That's how they're spending time with each other. So I mean, yeah, there is a fact of loneliness, but yeah, I do miss those times where we used to sit with our friends and we are playing games, and whether it's like basic truth and dare, or we are gossiping, or there's a normal dinner that we've gone to, or maybe just to a mall and just to do time pass and come back, and our conversations have no head and tail. But loneliness, yeah, sometimes that does creep in. When today you're so much on social media that when you actually you're exhausted and you're drained from going through reels and through internet, that you want to do something, you realize that you're just connected on Instagram, and when you want to actually go out and maybe play a sport or do something fun, you actually need, it's more tiring, and it takes a lot of effort to actually call people in to organize and match with their time and everything. So yes, and that's when you just feel that we wish those days were back, where people didn't worry so much, or people were not more engrossed on social media.
For the sake of this podcast, I'm referring to you guys as Gen Z and Millennial. I hope that's not how you refer to each other at home.
We sometimes do.
Sometimes do.
We do.
Because you have a 10-year gap now between you guys.
Yes.
So, like,
Almost.
and you have that elder sister mode. Okay, before I ask anything else, because I am also an elder sister to my sibling, did you ever at any point in your life tell her that your parents picked her up from the dustbin?
Yeah, actually, I tell her that, we kind of swapped the
All
credits in
elder
the
siblings have
hospital.
said this, and my sister has run away also from home. My neighbor has found her on the road, brought her back, and my
I
mother.
used to tell her that the credits were swapped in the hospital room.
Oh, acha, okay. Oh, okay. You went a little innovative, because the usual is that, oh, parents picked you up.
Dustbin se utha ke laye.
Say, okay, great. I'm going to talk about online dating, because that's a huge part of the millennial Gen Z culture today. Usually they say that earlier we used to meet people and then like each other and whatever. Now you're swiping left or right, and that's how you meet people. uh, what's your take on this dating in this generation? What is your take on it?
See, for me, online dating I've never tried, and because I never felt the need to do that. It has always been for me to meet the person face to face. I need to know that person, and basis which I evaluate and see if it's worth investing my time. So I've even till date, there are a lot of friends of mine who found their partners through online dating. They tried, they explored, and they got their loved ones. But for me, no. I've never been through that route, and I will never go on that route of online dating, because I don't find it trustworthy, because you never know whom you're talking to at the other end. You don't see them. So it's going to be, it is risky to kind of open your pages in front of that person, and then what if it backfires on you? So I have this fear. So I will never take the online dating route.
You don't
Uh,
advise. What about you,
no, I don't.
Kaveri? I am with you, Srishti,
Same.
because I
Even
also don't like
I do not
starting.
choose dating apps because not even the fact that you don't know whom you're talking to. Of course, that's what even I consider. But for me, I want to see the person first. I mean, not through pictures. I mean, that doesn't motivate me internally to actually go and talk to the person, even if you might be
Not
the
through filters. Sorry, I'm interrupting you. Not through pictures, not through filters. Let's put it like that. The pictures
yeah. So
appear so different from real life sometimes.
So I want to meet the person, personally first. I want to see, and then I'll, think whether, I can talk to the person or not. Because there are too many things that, every girl considers, whether the guy is presentable, how does the guy look, how does he talk, whether he's tall or not, of course. So yeah, and that you don't get to know that through pictures and the bio data that's put on the dating app. So might as well not go through any dating app.
Okay, all right. That's, I think you both have a similar, viewpoint when it comes to online dating. I had such a wonderful time talking to you two because, we discussed so many things that I think I have a certain kind of belief because of what you call me now. I am 82 born, so I don't know what Gen Y maybe because
Maybe.
Yeah.
Gen Y, I don't know whatever you call me. I'm just trying to say that I grew up in the 90s, So for me, films and then those two television channels that we had, and that was life. I got introduced, a lot of people from my generation, we got introduced to social media and digital apps and all of those things very late in our lives. But I would say that that's why maybe we have a certain way of thinking about certain things. But just because I think like this, it does not mean everybody else has to agree, which is why, I got a Gen Z and a millennial together on this podcast so I could understand that how different is it in terms of thinking, between me and you guys. And some things don't change, I think maybe it's the inherent culture, it's the inherent upbringing that we all have within us. So some things I think for our good only, they have not changed. And so I am feeling very happy. I am feeling at one with the Gen Z and the millennial today. Last but not the least, two sisters, 10 years difference. Do you guys fight like cats and dogs? Please say yes.
Yes, we had a fight in the morning today.
Okay. Because
Yeah.
my sister and I, we have only 4 years difference. And we have fought like cats and dogs, and we still fight. But that's the thing with sisters. No matter how much you fight, at the end of the day, she knows all about you, and you know all about her. And that's
True.
the beauty, that's the strength of that relationship, I feel.
Right.
Kaveri, do you think that you know better and Shushti doesn't? Suppose there's a situation where she's not agreeing to what you have to say and you want to have it your way. So do you just get irritated and think that, oh my God, you don't understand anything? Do you feel?
I mean, yeah, that does happen. I mean, when it's a heated argument, we both feel that for a point that none of us are understanding each other's point of view, and we actually, after a lot of argument, we ended there or we paused it rather. And when she is calm and I am calm and we can think normally, we come back and talk again, and then we come to a middle ground.
All right, reminds me of my sister and myself. Thank you so much, Shrishti and Kaveri, for agreeing to do this. I am so grateful to you. We try and cover, different aspects of women in general on Strilingo. And today it was about two sisters, but from two separate generations. So thank you. I had a wonderful time talking to you too.
Thank you
Thank you
so
so
much,
much.
Smita, for having us. In fact, we also had a really good time to discuss about these things which normally we don't, because we don't get time, because we are busy with our work, and we don't really pay attention that these things even need to be discussed about in person. But yes, so we also got that one chance of talking and expressing what we feel about these topics. So thank you for having us, and yeah.
Thank you to the beautiful Parekh sisters.
Thank you so much.